Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Lighten Up with Bo, where we're trying to learn how to live life a little more peacefully and serenely. I'm just taking you through the Course in Miracles, a book that is a spiritual metaphysical text guided to restore you to the truth of who you are. That's what the lessons are. Even if you don't own the book, A Course in Miracles, there's many different versions due to editing back when it was channeled, but the lessons are all the same in every book. So if you want to get the book, great. But even if you didn't have the book, hopefully you can find these videos meaningful to help you apply the lessons in your life. These videos are not shortcuts. The purpose of the lessons is to do them to bring about a state of readiness to accept the Christ that we all are. Christ is just a word to describe the one unified whole being that we all are. That's all it is. You could give it the word, doesn't matter what word you give it. So we're on lesson 16 today. Hope you're having a great day or night wherever you are. Let's begin. Lesson 16, I have no neutral thoughts. I have no neutral thoughts. The idea for today is a beginning step in dispelling the belief that your thoughts have no effect. Everything you see is the result of your thoughts. There is no exception to this fact. Thoughts are not big or little, powerful or weak. They are merely true or false. Those which are true create in their own likeness. Those which are false create in theirs. So I'm going to break that one down a little bit, right? Whatever we think, if it's positive, negative, whatever, there's no such thing. There's only true or false. So true thoughts create truth. False thoughts create falsity, more illusions, so to speak. I think that's enough about that. But I also love the opening paragraph where it says, everything you see is the result of your thoughts. There is no exception to this. Again, the Course in Miracles is presenting as the world outside of you is not the cause of anything. The world is simply a reflection of the individual and collective thoughts and beliefs projected outward. The world is the screen to our perception, the movie screen, the screen we see things on. Paragraph 2. There is no more self-contradictory concept than that of idle thoughts. Meaning there is nothing more contradictory than the idea of like an idle thought, meaning a thought that has no effect. What gives rise to the perception of a whole world can hardly be called idle. Every thought you have contributes to truth or to illusion. Either it extends the truth or it multiplies illusions. You can indeed multiply nothing, but you will not extend it by doing so. So, extend here means to enlarge or increase. So the sense is that every true thought extends outward. It extends like the sunbeam from the sun. Every true thought extends outwards. And as it does, it enlarges. It makes it larger. It extends. So it increases, so to speak. Paragraph 3. In addition to never being idle, salvation, freedom, salvation is just another word for freedom, liberation. Salvation requires that you recognize that every thought you have will bring either peace or war, either love or fear. A neutral result is impossible because a neutral thought is impossible. There is such a temptation to dismiss certain fear thoughts as unimportant, trivial and not worth bothering about, that it is essential you recognize them all as equally destructive, but equally unreal. We will practice this idea in many forms before you really understand it. So don't worry about trying to grasp this as yet. But what it is pointing to is all thoughts in the dream of duality. When the ego is mostly fueling all of our thoughts, which is the truth on our path to awakening. We are governed by the thoughts system of the ego and duality. That means we believe in right and wrong. We believe in good and bad. We believe in opposites. So while that's going on, it is impossible to have a thought that doesn't have effect at some level. So it's basically asking us to realize that when you sit around and go, oh, my daydreaming, that doesn't harm anything. Or, if I'm not talking about it or acting on it, it doesn't really bother anyone. So yeah, maybe I have some judgmental, blaming, condemning thoughts up here, but it's not causing anybody harm. At the creative level, all thoughts create. So it becomes important that we realize that there's no such thing as a neutral thought. All thoughts create because they have the energy of truth or false. True thoughts create more truth. False thoughts create more falsity. But all thoughts create. So it's basically just asking you to settle into, can you realize that none of your thoughts are neutral? And therefore, it's really going to be inviting us as we move along in the course to just become aware, not shame yourself, not go, oh my God, there it is. Now that I'm recognizing my thoughts, there's so many past judgment, blame. No, it's just noticing. Can you realize none of your thoughts are neutral? And in that case, if you can, maybe you would be open and willing to inviting your true thoughts, your thoughts that are aligned with the mind of love, to come in, to have a mind that only thinks with truth, which is really all there is. So it's just inviting the illusions, the fantasy thoughts, the fear thoughts to be put down and to invite a mind that is only in love. Okay, enough of that. Enough of that, Bo. We get it. Thank you. Paragraph 4. In applying the idea for today, search your mind for 1 minute or so with eyes closed and actively seek not to overlook any little thought which tends to elude the search. This is quite difficult until you get used to it. So it's letting you know this is challenging. You will find that it is still hard for you not to make artificial distinctions. Every thought, paragraph 5, that occurs to you, regardless of the quality which you assign to it, meaning it doesn't matter if you think it's important, not important, the thought about how you slept last night, a quick thought that comes through your mind versus a really big thought. There's no such thing as little or big. Every thought that occurs to you, regardless of the quality which you assign to it, is a suitable subject for applying today's idea. In the practice periods, first repeat the idea. So you close your eyes and say, I have no neutral thoughts. I like to usually say it 2 or 3 times just to anchor in my body. I have no neutral thoughts. And then you start watching your thoughts. After you repeat the idea, as each thought crosses your mind, hold it in your awareness briefly while you tell yourself, this thought about blank is a neutral thought. That thought about blank is a neutral thought. That's it. As usual, use today's idea whenever you are aware of a particular thought which arouses uneasiness. So it always invites us, especially when you have a thought that kind of motivates you into stress, you move into worrying, fear, something other than kind of peaceful. When you really notice some kind of thought, even if it's 10 minutes after you've been doing it, that's fine. If you notice it, you can say, the following form is suggested for this purpose. This thought about whatever it is not a neutral thought because I have no neutral thoughts. So you're starting to basically call yourself out in a loving way, like, oh, I recognize that This thought about this is not neutral. Is it creating more love or fear? Is it creating more truth or illusions or fantasy? 4 or 5 practice periods are recommended. If you find them relatively effortless, if strain is experienced, 3 will be enough. So 5 if it's easy, 3 if it's a little bit challenging. The length of the exercise period should be also reduced if there is discomfort. So it says only do it for a minute, maybe a minute and a half if you're comfortable. But if it feels straining or stressful, 45 seconds. This is nothing. So that's lesson 16. I have no neutral thoughts. Welcome to inviting the idea that all thoughts are either creating more separation and illusion, or they're bringing back the experience of total oneness and unity. Good to know. Have a beautiful day or night where you are. Don't forget to lighten up. If you liked something here, you can leave a comment. Feel free to subscribe if you want to be notified when I release the other videos. You can go to the Lighten Up Movement website if you want to see some of the fun symbols I put on clothes to help you remember not to take it all so seriously. More to come, or reach out to me if you'd like. I have an Instagram, which is my first and last name, Bo Baker _. More will be revealed. Stay light. See you soon for lesson 17.